For those winners, so we'll have them there. So doctors.
Mhm.
But they didn't get hurt. They showed up. All the people.
Yeah.
A minor thing.
Cheryl did confirm.
Yeah. I texted with her this morning. Confirm.
Got about 4 seconds.
These.
More or less.
What are these?
Oh, yeah. She didn't get her. You got yours on. Memorial Day.
No, because I was post-op.
Memorial Day?
Yeah, I couldn't do it Memorial Day.
Oh, look at
No, wait a minute. No,
that. Flag Day.
no, I was out of town on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere. I'll be there for July 4th and the others too. In theory.
All right, I've got 7 PM, so we'll call this special meeting to order. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Plesky,
Here.
trustee Berkshire is absent, trustee Delapenna.
Here.
Trustee Domke.
Here.
Trustee Lanisa. Here. Trustee Perkowski,
Here.
trustee Trejo,
Here.
Mayor Quorum.
Thank you so much. We'll move to presentation of the prepared agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move.
I have a second. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, the motion carries. We'll now move on to Village Board public comment. Anyone wishing to provide a comment may submit so in advance or speak at this time. Madam Clerk, do we have any submitted in advance?
No.
Thank you so much. Is there any member of the public here tonight that wishes to make a comment? Let the record show none. We'll now move on to officials and staff reports. So under mine, would like to just extend a heartfelt thanks to all of our first responders, the police and fire department, and especially Public Works for all the work that's happened over the past 4 days. Obviously, we're meeting today because of a supercell and now a confirmed EFO tornado that touched down in the village. So it's taken an extraordinary amount of teamwork and dedication work. So on behalf of everyone, thank you so much for doing everything. I've heard a number of compliments. I'm sure the trustees would echo that as well, and that all reflects the hard work that I know our crew has done, but also the surrounding communities that have. So at this point, I'd just like to invite our Public Works Director, Karen Young, just to kind of give an update on the recovery efforts and just any questions the board might have regarding what's transpired over the last couple of days and where we're going.
Sure. So first I'd like to, before we get to the summary, just want to, in the summary of events, want to just first thank the village board and trustees as well as the village administrator. There was a ton of assistance with this group throughout the effort. And also the police and fire department and all the other support with the other departments in the village. We couldn't do what we do without the assistance with everyone behind the scenes as well. So on Monday evening, we brought in a majority of the Public Works Department to begin emergency operations, which included clearing roads, monitoring our critical facilities, both our water and wastewater facilities that were without power, and also addressing the impacts to our other village buildings throughout the community. Later that evening, we brought in contacted mutual aid through IPW Man, which is all the public works agencies throughout the state of Illinois. And by Tuesday morning, we had 7 other communities in town assisting with cleanup effort. Over the course of 3 days, we received assistance from 14 communities with an average of 30 employees and 20 pieces of specialized equipment that were brought in to supplement our village staff. To date, we've logged well over 1,000 hours of cleanup work. Without this assistance and additional equipment, these 3 days of work would have taken us well over a month and likely would have required several contractors being brought in. The hardest hit area of town in general is from Pine Avenue to the North Village limits. Crews have been focusing our efforts in these areas the last 3 days. Tomorrow we'll be reassessing the remaining work and continuing our tree removal and brush pickup. Information has been sent out to the community that any private property storm damage should be placed out at the curb by 7 a.m. on Monday. Our staff will be out on Monday documenting all locations for branch pickup. We hope to have the majority of branch pickup done by the end of next week. And we will be noting and leaving any large branch piles so that we can bring in some additional large specialized equipment to assist with the lifting of that equipment. I'd like to also thank the residents and businesses in the community who've been very supportive and patient with our crews and our cleanup efforts. Excuse me. And also want to appreciate the partnership with IPW Man, who's our mutual aid effort in the following communities: Algonquin, Arlington Heights, Bartlett, Batavia, Bloomingdale, Buffalo Grove, Carroll Stream, Itasca, Crystal Lake, Elk Grove, St. Charles, Villa Park, and Warrenville. And lastly, and most importantly, I'd like to recognize the exceptional efforts of the Public Works team who've been leading and working hard alongside the crews from the various communities for the storm damage cleanup at our critical water and wastewater facilities, as well as other areas throughout town. So they proved to be very resilient during the challenging times, and we appreciate their efforts and commitment to our community. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions on the board? Wayne?
I'd like to make one comment to you and to the rest of the staff and to Mayor Leske and the board. For me, it's really proud to be on a group that does so well as you did for this storm damage. And the social media, which is the most critical group out there, I did not even see anything negative from anyone. So I think that, to me, that's the first time I've ever seen that. We really stepped up. And I think that's exactly why you guys are doing a great job. That's why you're in the positions that you're in. And I'm proud to be a part of this. You guys made us proud to be a part of a town that really works for the residents. So I take my hat off to you. If I wore a hat, I would.
Well, thank you. I'll make sure to share that with our team. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Well, thank you again. And the great thing about mutual aid is we've done this for other communities, but that doesn't cost our taxpayers any additional to do this kind of stuff. And this would have been a very large expense for us. There will be expenses for us down the road that we'll have to approve, obviously, but this has been a fantastic effort. So thank you again.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
The only other thing I will add tonight, so we did extend the deadline for the clerk application by a week, just given all the events that were going on and whatnot. So we'll commence interviews the last week of June. So Patty and I will be doing that. And so if there's any trustee that would like to do that, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll be reaching out to someone to participate in those so that we can bring a recommendation to the board in July, hopefully. So with that being the case, any village trustees that have a report? Wayne.
Continuing on with the love out of my heart, I have to say that post-surgery for me, the day I came home was kind of a depressing time. And I want to thank, I know individually, no one really did this, but as an organization, I got a nice gift, get well gift basket at a time when I was really feeling down. So I want to thank the mayor, the clerk, the board, and the staff for maybe you didn't do it individually, but as an organization, it's a nice gesture. Believe me, it was well appreciated, and I was shocked to get it. So thank you.
All right. Any other trustee reports tonight? All right. Village clerk. All right. Village attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say on behalf of the firm, we want to say thank you to you and the board for trusting us with this opportunity. We're looking forward to working with the Village of Roselle and staff in the upcoming time.
Thank you so much. Glad to have you on board. Village administrator.
No report.
All right, then we'll continue on with unfinished business. We have the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, or non-controversial in nature. We enact in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items. Tonight, we have presentation approval of board minutes from May 23rd, 2022. the acceptance of, by the mayor and the board of trustees of the resignation submitted by village clerk Patricia Patty Burns, effective August 2nd, 2022. Adopt a resolution approving the 2022-2025 strategic plan. Adopt a resolution abrogating resolution 2021-2430 pertaining to the plat and dedication of public right of way for the East Irving Park Road. Adopt a resolution negating and abrogating resolution 2021-2431 pertaining to establishment of an easement for the construction of public utilities and drainage facilities. Pass an ordinance rescinding ordinances as published in our packet related to recapture agreements. Adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for the Dover Court sanitary project in the amount of $28,950. Adopt a resolution modifying the village yard flooding assistance program. Adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for the 2022 various parking lot crack filling and bike path improvement projects in the amount of $219,727.09. And pass an ordinance authorizing the approval to work on the 2022 water main replacement program on Saturdays. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Burkowski.
Aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. We'll move on to our other items. We have nothing on our community development today. Administration, Trustee Delapenna.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for professional services between the Village of Roselle and Ginkgo Planning and Design, Inc., not to exceed $49,000.
There's a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call on that one?
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Burkowski.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
That motion carries. Fire, we have nothing tonight. Police, we have nothing. Public Works, in the absence of Trustee Berkshire, Trustee Trejo, could you please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution waiving the village's competitive bid process and authorizing the purchase of an effluent ammonia analyzer for the Devlin wastewater treatment plant from Hack Company in the amount of $45,752.25.
Second.
Sole source.
Thank you. Any discussion? And as Trustee Trejo did previously say, that is a sole source, hence the competitive bidding process being waived. In the absence of discussion, Madam Clerk, we have a roll call.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Burkowski.
Aye.
And Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
That motion carries.
And I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for the installation and SCADA integration of the effluent ammonia analyzer at the Devlin wastewater treatment plant between the Village of Roselle and Tri-R Systems Incorporated in the amount of $8,600.00.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries.
And I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing approval for payment to Bloomingdale Township for the resurfacing of village streets in an amount not to exceed $36,000.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll just add for the record, as we included in the information prior, we're asking the township to provide us advance notice, so this can just be included in our normal budgeting process going forward. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? And that motion carries.
And I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2022 Ford Escape from Friendly Ford of Roselle in the amount of $31,190.39.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries.
That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We'll move to finance. Trustee Pierakowski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to start by moving approval of the accounts payable list for June 13th, 2022 in the amount of $1,484,316.96.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Burkowski.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Okay, I'd also like to move passage of an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issuance of not to exceed $3,600,000 general obligation bonds Alternative Revenue Source, Series 2022 of the Village of Roselle, DuPage and Cook Counties, Illinois, for the purpose of paying or reimbursing certain redevelopment project costs in and for the East Irving Park Road redevelopment project area, authorizing the execution of a bond order in connection therewith, pledging certain revenues of said village, providing for the imposition of taxes to pay the same, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
Second.
Mouthful. Before we open up for any discussion, I'd like to invite our representative from Sphere Financial, Anthony, and I'm going to botch your last name. I apologize. Mercelli. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Village Trustees. So before you tonight is an ordinance for the issuance of not to exceed $3.6 million in general obligation bonds. What this ordinance allows is for us to move forward with a bond sale at a later date, so long as the bond sale falls within certain parameters as established by the ordinance. Those parameters are, it will not exceed a term length out through 2041, will not have an interest rate higher than 5.5%, and will not have annual payments higher than $300,000. Right now, we expect the interest rate to be significantly lower than 5.5%. Right now, looking around 4. Rates have come up fairly significantly in the last several months, which is one of the reasons we're moving forward with just the $3.6 million for village improvements and not the additional $11 million for redevelopment costs to the developer. Those funds aren't needed this year. And with the market the way it is, we decided to push that issuance off until closer to when the funds are actually needed. So you're not paying interest on bonds where you don't need the funds yet. So from a timing perspective, upon approval of the ordinance tonight, we look to price the bonds in the middle of next week. So that'll be when we lock in the interest rate. We've already prepared an official statement, which is an offering document sent to investors. That's out in the market right now. The bonds are being marketed. It'll be formally marketed and offered Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So we'll set the rates and then funds will come in early July.
Fantastic. Any questions or discussion from the board? All right, see none. Thank you so much. And thank you for braving the storm Monday. So
Yeah.
sorry we made you come out, but we're glad to have you here today.
I somehow missed the whole thing. I don't know how that happened, but I did.
So with that being said, Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
And Trustee Domke.
Aye.
And that motion carries.
I have nothing further, Mayor.
Thank you. And that concludes our unfinished business. Moving on to new business, we do have a second opportunity for public comment. Madam Clerk, any comments submitted?
No comments.
All right. And do we have any members of the public here tonight that wish to make a comment to the board? Let the record show none. We'll move on to our only item under new business today, the Friendly Ford lease agreement. Matt?
Good evening. This item is for a lease agreement for the recently acquired Metra property at the southeast corner of the Friendly Ford lot. This property has no access outside of the Friendly Ford property. We were looking at a 1-year lease. Recent conversations with Friendly Ford, they've indicated that their development timeframe is extended. So we're going to be adjusting to a 2-year lease and putting in measures to encourage that development that they've spoken of.
Great. Any questions on the board? I think the great thing is we now own this land, so we can use that as a way to insert ourselves into any development that would happen there. So, Wayne?
So after the 2-year lease, then are they offered the opportunity to purchase this land from the village, or are we going to be a landlord forever?
Yeah, there will be some acquisition language in there for Friendly Ford, hinging on that development.
And they're not building a structure on there, are they?
There's been discussion that they would.
So, I mean, when they do put a structure on there, does that change the way we look at that land? Because, you know, they don't own it and they're putting a structure on something that they're only leasing. Does that
We would look at the acquisition to happen prior to that building being erected.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Lee?
I just got a question. I don't see anything like any terms on here. Is this for money or are we just leasing it to them for?
So that this term was for $1 for the year. Then being that we'll be going back to the drawing board with extending this, we'll be putting in a little more language.
Got it. Okay.
What a gallon of gas, maybe.
Oh.
Any other questions from the board? Is there general consensus about moving forward with this? I'm seeing a lot of head nodding.
Good with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Right, direction to continue as staff has presented. Thank you. All right, we do not have executive session for the night. Is there any other business from the board tonight? All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Is
So moved.
there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions?